Hey, what's going on, Hammer fam? Welcome back to HammeredHead. Today we're looking at the Vintage Collection Return of the Jedi Spirits Special Action Figure Set. Pretty hyped about this one because Return of the Jedi is my favorite. Really like that last scene. The figures look really cool in the box. We get Obi-Wan Kenobi Jedi Spirit. Looks pretty fresh. Yoda Jedi Spirit. Looks a little goofy. And then I think people are probably going to be most happy about the Anakin Skywalker Jedi Spirit. You get Hayden Christensen and a swappable head for Sebastian Shaw. So I don't really know what I'll just play him with. I might go with the Sebastian Shaw one. But we'll check them both out, see how they look. Here we go. We got a cool little pose on the back here. As Luke Skywalker and his friends celebrate the overthrowing of the Galactic Empire, he sees the force spirits of Anakin Skywalker, Yoda, and Obi-Wan Kenobi looking on. Yeah, so that's pretty much all they do. They're just hanging out there. And soon they're going to be hanging out in my collection. Let's open them up. Okay, here we have them out of the box. I actually think it's pretty cool the way they did these figures. It's pretty much just a regular Jedi, but with the Force Ghost sort of wrap cloak around it. So if you get a closer look, you'll see what I mean. So he's got this cool little translucent robe. Underneath it is just the regular Obi-Wan Kenobi figure, with the exception of the hands, which are like the holographic Force Ghost see-through blue, and the feet same way. So there's sort of like a gradient as it goes up. It gets less and less ghosty and more real. So I think that's a really cool sort of design feature the way they did that. But yeah, I guess if you wanted to take the robe off you could, but it would look a little goofy. They do have hoods, which looks kind of stupid if you put it on his head. But when it's down, it looks really cool. So it really does look, you know, like a magical spiritual ghost thing. And then I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like there's some extra shine to the faces here, and a little bit on their clothing, like some sparkles to make them look just a little shinier and more like real ghosts. The Obi-Wan and Anakin figure I'm pretty sure are identical other than the head sculpt. They don't come with any accessories, which is fine. We obviously never really see a Force Ghost with lightsabers or anything. Oh, maybe they're not the same. Oh, look at that. Obi-Wan's got a little pouch on the side there. Okay, so they're not identical. That's kind of cool. But same idea with the translucent robes with the Force Ghost hands and feet, and then the sort of corporeal body. And then Yoda has a different colored robe, which is a little bit goofy. I think it probably should have all looked the same. I couldn't really see it quite that much in the box, but now that they're all out, this is obviously like a goldish Force Ghost robe, whereas these two guys are blue. Now that I think about it, I don't know if that's how it really looked in the movie, but I don't think it is, so I don't know why they went with that choice. But, you know, same deal here. He's got sort of translucent legs and hands, and then oh, there goes Obi-Wan. Then the body is pretty corporeal. And then the head, there's a little bit of like sparkly blue on there. He holds the cane okay, and the cane also has some paint apps on it to make it look more Force Ghosty. This is the only accessory you get other than the swappable head. But he holds it alright. Figure itself looks pretty cool. Overall, a decent sculpt. There's some pretty solid paint apps on here. And I think the face is really good. I'm going to try this Sebastian Shaw face swap. So it looks like you just kind of rip his head off here. Yep, just like that. Plop him down over here. And then we'll stick Mr. Shaw on. And there we have it. The original Anakin Force Ghost. I think that head swap works pretty well. Slides on and off really nicely, but it looks firmer in there. If you didn't already know that they could swap, just looking at it, you can't really tell. So it's a nice snug fit. Overall, it's a pretty sweet feature, and I really like that they included that. Articulation is really good on the two humans. We got a nice ball head there. Good range of motion in the shoulders. Elbows go a little under 90. And then we got hinged wrists, a little impeded by the size of his cuffs, but it's not a big deal. We got a ball waist here, and then it looks like we got, yep, barbell hips, and there's a split on the tunic, so you can do some acrobatics. Knees go pretty far past 90, so that's awesome. And we got really smooth motion in the ankles here. They go pretty far back, so you know, I don't know what positions you're going to have your Force Ghosts in other than just standing there, but you can pose them however you want, really. Yoda is a little bit more limited. He has, it looks like a ball joint head, but it kind of acts like a swivel. This necklace is not attached, by the way, so you can remove that or whatever if you want. Not a whole lot of range of motion in the head there. And then the shoulders are pretty good, but then these elbows are actually only swivel, which I found out the hard way because I tried to bend it the wrong way and it popped off. So fortunately it didn't break, but you know, you're kind of limited in what he's going to do with his arms. And then we got swivel wrists here. Looks like a swivel. I actually can't tell on the waist. Moves like a swivel waist. And swivel hips. Knees go about 90. And then just swivel ankles. So Yoda's, you know, being smaller, he's a little more limited in what his articulation can do. But again, you can stand him up easily enough, especially with the cane. So these guys aren't going anywhere. So there you have the Jedi Spirits 3-pack. Pretty cool overall. I don't know if I would say that it's definitive, but for my purposes, I'll call it definitive for me. I really like the way they did these guys. I think they look great. And honestly, if they wanted to go further and do a Qui-Gon Force Ghost with this sort of model, I think that would work pretty cool. You know, you can probably get a decent amount of use out of this way of doing the Force Ghost. So I'll give Hasbro a dub for this one. Definitely recommend picking it up if you're a Return of the Jedi or Jedi in general fan. But let me know what you think in the comments. As always, thank you my Patreon subscribers. Be sure to follow on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Check out the Patreon page. And don't forget, stay hammered.